Hi, Emily here from Current Body. I was lucky enough recently to visit the home of T3 within the UK, and I spent some time with one of their stylists, Louisa, who gave me some great tips. Now, I am a big T3 fan. I use the Featherweight 2i Luxe hairdryer sort of 3 or 4 times a week. I literally couldn't be without it. If somebody stole it off me tomorrow, I would be a very sad person. And you can click here to see my video about why I love it so much. But she talked to me about one of the products which are, to be honest, I hadn't really got on with when I'd used it before, which is the T3 BodyWaver. Mainly because I just thought, oh, well, my hair is quite short, it's grown a bit now, but it wasn't necessarily for me, as I thought it was designed really to give long bouncy waves to long hair. But she actually explained it to me in much more detail, and I'm going to do a little demo of how she used it on me. So the BodyWaver, the clue's in the name really, I ought to have known what it was really for, is designed to give you body and waves. See what they've done there. What it's really there for is, you know, that big sort of American, going for a blowout, you get your hair done, you have a blowout and you have like big bouncy curls, a bit Cheryl-esque, and you see that they've got all that volume at the root and then those waves that come through at the end rather than that dead straight look. And as you probably know, getting that done by the hairdresser, fantastic. Trying to do it on yourself, near impossible. So that's where the BodyWaver comes in. So if I show it to you, you can see it's got a very large barrel. It's got 5 heat settings, so you twist the bottom to put it onto the different settings. Now, there are a couple of techniques which I'm going to explain to you as I sort of work through doing my hair, which will hopefully help if you are like me and you'd like to get that nice volumized blow dry look. So I use the clamp to press the bottom, run it all through, and that's what gives you the smooth look, and then roll it back up and hold it close to the head. Now, one really important thing that Louise showed me is the fact that you want that kind of volume as it comes out. So you're holding the device at an angle to your head. So you're heating the hair and you're training it to come out from the head. So if you were to hold it down here, you're dragging the hair down. What you want to do is make sure that you get that angle away from the head so you get that big volumized look. So you can see there straight away. So I'm going to work my way around the head. Now, let me tell you a couple of things about the T3 range, in particular about the heated products. So the T in T3 comes from tourmaline. So all of the T3 range have tourmaline infused components. So the hairdryer I mentioned, my big love, that has got all tourmaline infused components. Now, tourmaline is a crystal that naturally, when heated, gives off infrared heat. And infrared is much more gentle on the hair and it dries it in a much more gentle way. It also works to produce negative ions, which break down the water droplets, and instead of them all being blasted off your hair like a normal hairdryer, they're absorbed into the hair shaft. And on the heated products, they have a tourmaline coating on the top. Wow, look at that. How's that for some volume? Obviously, I'm not going to leave it like that. I will be styling it out later on. They've got that tourmaline, that natural infrared, and so this barrel has got a coating all over it. Now, one of the other really interesting things about the T3 styling product are the fact that they all have a digital brain inside them. Sounds very clever. What that means is that they've got a special thermometer which runs within the barrel of this from the bottom to the tip, and within the straightening irons right along the whole ceramic plate of the iron. And what that does is it maintains an even temperature from the top to the bottom of what you're using. So the top of this barrel is exactly the same temperature as the bottom of this barrel. So that means that, if you're doing a large chunk of hair at the time, you're not going to get, say, a section that is more curled than the other because you've got a slightly more heated bit at the top than the bottom. Now, the other thing that it means is that it maintains the temperature the whole time. So, say for example, you're using a normal straightening iron that doesn't have that digital brain, so a competitor's product. What it does is you switch it on and it heats up and it heats up and it heats up and it tells you when it's ready at the top, so the temperature goes as high as it's going to go. When it reaches that temperature, the thermometer stops and it goes back down again, and then it clicks in and it goes up again, and then it drops down. So you get that kind of zigzag effect. If you were to look at it on a graph, that's what would happen. So then what that means is that you get an uneven finish. So if you're using the device when you're at the top of the graph, great. If you're using it when the temperatures drop down a bit, then of course you're going to get slightly less effect. So you might need to go over that area twice, which of course is more damaging for the hair. The T3 products maintain that constant temperature for you, and that means that you don't have to go over each piece of hair more than once, and you can do each section so that it is exactly the same as the others, so you get a much more even and a much more professional finish, because that is the point behind all the T3 range, is that you get that more professional look. So I'm going to keep going and working through my hair, so I'll come back to you when I'm just at the top section, rather than you just sitting there watching me do this, and then I'll show you how I've kind of styled it out and what the end effect is. So I've worked my way around the rest of my head now. I've just got 2 final sections left at the front to do, and as you can already see, I've got lots of volume, lots of waves. So one of the really important points with this, I think, is to make sure that you hairspray each section after you use it. I tend to divide my hair into about 4 sections now when I'm working on it, just to sort of make sure that I'm getting each section at a time, and I'm building up those layers, and that of course is what's going to give you that additional volume. So in a minute, of course, I'm going to work my way through that hair and actually sort of style it. At the moment, it's all a bit crispy and a bit too hairsprayed. So it just needs that kind of extra work done through it. So let's take this front section. And again, you can see how what I'm really doing is holding the hair an angle up from the head. And that's what's giving me that additional volume. And I mean, if you look at how much volume I've got compared with at the beginning, once I've sort of brushed this out a bit with my fingers and worked it through a little bit, it's going to look much more natural, much more, well, not really natural, but like I've had, been out and actually had my hair done without it looking too done. You see what I mean? It's a fine line, isn't it? So, I mean, wow, look at that volume. It's amazing. So it's a great product, and I really have kind of, as I said, I've really sort of discovered it in the last few weeks, and I found it's really helped, even if I'm really short on time and I'm just running it through the top sections of my hair just to add that bit of volume in and that sort of thing, I really do find it kind of makes a difference. So let's go with that. Right. Now I'm going to add a little bit of hairspray to those sections, and then I'm going to start sort of styling it through using my hands. I'm just going to flip my head upside down quickly. So again, I just find that adds just that little bit of extra volume in, and then just sort of start to shape it into the actual look that I want. So if you see, I mean, obviously there's so much more volume there. I tend to sort of take these sections slightly away and round, so that they almost sort of wave over the back section of the hair there. Obviously, if you want to add a few more waves to the underneath now, using the bower, you can. Or even if you wanted to do that with your straighteners. And actually, I'm going to film for you a how to curl your hair using straighteners video. So once that's up and running, you'll be able to click here to see it. But there we go. I think I'm pretty pleased with that. What do you think? So it really does look like, like I've been to the salon, had my hair done, and if you use the right hairspray, that will last you all day. And I think it's just a great all-round bouncy kind of look. So there we go. So that is my how to give yourself a American style blowout using the T3 BodyWaver.